Soundwave, some applause for the victor. One down, but so many more to go.
This is pointless, Tarn.
You might be right. Two more.
Hello everyone and welcome, this is Comodin. Finally we have the last episode of Transformers Cyberverse. This is the perfect Decepticon. Now I know the world can't actually watch this yet. It was first broadcasted on television and now Hasbro have officially uploaded it to YouTube, but only in America. I managed to get my hands on it. I managed to get a good copy of this. So for those who haven't seen the episode yet and don't want it to be spoiled for them, obviously watch the episode first when you can and then come back to this video because I will be spoiling it, but I will generally summarising how I feel about this episode and the series in general. This is the second special, the first one obviously with the Dinobots and Decepticon. Now we have Tarn, a very popular character from the IDW Transformers comics. He makes his first television debut here and a very different take, not so different, you know, it's still Tarn, but the way how he's conceptualized in Cyberverse, it's definitely something for a TV debut. I hope going forward Hasbro decide to use the Tarn character more because I feel like there's more to him, especially, you know, to tell in a story in other fictional media in the future than Cyberverse. Cyberverse did a good job of introducing him, but it's kind of weird how he still hasn't had a toy yet, like officially from Hasbro, you know. I would have thought he'd get a Cyberverse toy of him and the perfect Decepticons. Like, he's just one out of all of them. Like, it's explained that the perfect Decepticons are basically just copies of each other, but some of them have developed individual personalities than the others, and Tarn is the main one, and he's the one who kind of wants to gain control because he believes he is more superior than Megatron X, who was defeated. It first starts out actually with Astro Train crashing down, warning the Autobots and Decepticons. But I mean, this episode, it definitely felt long, but it also, like, it really went fast at the same time. Like, I felt the speed of the show going as its usual rate, but it was just more to kind of tell within the extra, you know, minutes that we've got. You know, from 10 minutes to 40 minutes, it's definitely a big difference. One thing I loved about this episode the most was just the Autobots and Decepticons getting along with each other, but at the same time keeping that banter between them. Also with Shadow Striker and Soundwave. Soundwave continues to be one of my favourite characters now in Cyberverse.
In every case, very, very, very not good.
Laserbeak.
Huh?
Shut him up.
Ah! Not again!
He's just got a particular attitude about him, which I just find enjoyable. I think the actor really did a good job at bringing a new kind of edge to Soundwave than before. And I think that's what Cyberverse has really nailed right, is actually believing that the Autobots and Decepticons can get along, that they can kind of coincide with each other, they can live on the same planet without there being war. It kind of gets tested a little bit in this episode when Tarn comes into the mix. But the way how he's introduced is that he's just fighting off random perfect Decepticons, and he tells Optimus Prime and the rest that he actually wants to put a stop to this, that he wants to make sure that they no longer fight each other and they actually become individuals much like Tarn, because Tarn's kind of more advanced than them. And there's a whole segment where they go and find the Cortex helm, which is like in this Onyx Prime's tomb. But yeah, we got another Prime that is mentioned as well. And we have Thunderhowl tagging along because he knows the legend of this. And obviously as soon as Tarn gets his hands on this, he flips on the team and, well, controls the perfect Decepticons and stops them from fighting each other and now uses them to attack the Autobots and Decepticons. Which it's like, yeah, I mean, how did you not see that coming? I mean, he's a perfect Decepticon. He's perfectly deceptive. I even like one joke that Shadow Striker says to Optimus Prime because he's just oblivious by it.
How dare you! Explain yourself, Tarn.
I think it's pretty clear.
But as Tarn gets hold of this Cortex helm, which has never been mentioned before, this is kind of like a new artifact now within the Transformers lore. TF Wikia better get a page on that. What I find interesting though is even though Tarn has now gained control of the perfect Decepticons, he wants to kind of test that by having Optimus Prime fight in this arena, and he manages to get the Decepticons who have signed the peace treaty with the Autobots to actually kind of follow his command. Well, at least at first it seemed like that, and I thought that was a strange direction to have Tarn now suddenly become like the leader of the Decepticons, telling the other Decepticons that you've got to abandon the peace treaty and now you've got to join me. And I'm just like thinking, if I was a Decepticon and I just signed that peace treaty, I'd be like, oh no, not this again. Do we have to fight again? You know, it was kind of like some Decepticons clearly shouldn't want to join Tarn. Like, come on, I mean, they want the fighting to stop, some of them really. And that kind of gets tested the most with Lockdown, with the friendship that he has with Clobber. You know, Lockdown, he's a Decepticon, but he doesn't want to, you know, just start fighting again, and he's kind of having conflicting feelings about that, but he obviously saves Clobber, and Clobber in turn throughout the episode saves him, so it's just kind of like a dynamic. And well, towards the end, as there's a lot of intense fighting, there's really a good set of fight scenes in this, you know, with Optimus Prime taking on perfect Decepticons one by one, you know, testing his strength. There is a really good moment towards the end where he orders the Decepticons like Lockdown and Skybite and all these, you know, other characters that, you know, we've gone to know to attack the Autobots, to go after them, and they just kind of put their hands down and be like, nope. It was just a cool moment to have all the Decepticons collectively go, yeah, we're not doing this. And yeah, the Autobots and Decepticons are fighting together. One of my favourite things throughout this entire fighting segment, by the way, is Arcee riding Chromia. I think that's the best thing I've ever seen. First, you thought it was good with Arcee riding Grimlock, and now you've got them riding each other. Could have phrased that better. Now, one of the interesting parts about this is Soundwave's character. He has a lot to kind of do. He's had a lot to do, actually, throughout these two specials. And he's kind of become the main highlight. He's kind of second to Bumblebee, really, when it comes to the characters that gets the most kind of screen time. You know, he has more screen time, really, than, I'd say, Optimus Prime a little bit. I mean, there's a part where he's kind of testing his loyalty. Like, is he just going to blindly follow Tarn, or is he going to stay true to the peace treaty? And while Soundwave proves to be superior in the end and actually goes against Tarn and sacrifices himself, which I did not see coming, to be honest. I didn't expect it to be so epic as well and kind of badass on Soundwave's part. That was probably one of the best moments throughout the entire series. You know, Soundwave just proving, yes, that he is superior. And, well, just taking on Tarn just like that. It's like, okay, we already had an Astro Chain death, and now we've got a Soundwave death. I was expecting a few other deaths from mainline characters, but I thought maybe they won't do that. And, well, only the Decepticons are going to, unfortunately, suffer the blow. But I thought that was a really cool moment for Soundwave to have his redemption of sorts. You know, he was the perfect Decepticon in the end, you know, deceiving Tarn, believing that he was on his side, and completely backfiring him. I mean, there's not really any mention of Megatron at all, you know, Megatron X even though he's in the intro, which I like. Yeah, so for each of these specials, they've been doing different intros, which I just think has been an amazing feature. But yeah, as for the story as a whole, you know, it's a really good 45 minutes of an episode. I really enjoyed it. I think it's actually a good ending to Cyberverse. At the end, they all hug each other, and you got, you know, kind of Shadow Striker being awkward about it, which is perfect, because she's a Decepticon, you know, Decepticons don't really hug Autobots. But there's a bit of an inspirational speech with Optimus Prime talking about how there's no longer any needs to be primes, and I think this is the first time he's said that and he's not died during it. So overall, Cyberverse actually has been a real good adventure to watch. Something that some people take seriously, some people won't. I think it's a bit of a mix of both. It's something to have fun with, but also it does have its serious moments, and I think the writing has really shown the capabilities of what Cyberverse can do within these two specials when they go beyond the 10-minute mark. So, yeah. Guys, that's it. That's the end of Cyberverse. I don't expect there to be any more in the future. I feel like the Cyberverse line has come to a close. To be honest, I didn't even expect to get these two specials. So actually, it's been kind of a treat. You know, this is the first time that a Transformers show has gone beyond the third season. Well, in the span of two specials. But yeah, still nonetheless, a pretty good show. I really liked it. I thought this was a good fitting end, even though it kind of makes you want to have more. I'm glad for this. This has been a good ride. Anyway, that's all I can say for Transformers Cyberverse for Perfect Decepticon. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below if you have watched the episode already. For more Transformers future show reviews in the future, be sure to subscribe, click that notification bell to get all updates instantly. This has been Comodin, and until the next video, goodbye.